welcome back to my channel. In today's video, as you guys can see by the title, we're going to discuss Bitcoin. So I know I don't talk about Bitcoin or cryptocurrency in general very much either on my YouTube or on my social media. My page is mostly geared towards day trading options, and I don't really day trade crypto, and I never really have day traded crypto. I look at crypto more of an long-term investment, so that's why I don't really talk about it that often. However, with all of the crypto hype, all of the news that's been coming out in regards to China, in regards to Tesla, whether they accept Bitcoin, the regulations, I really think a lot of people are misinformed and they are just purchasing Bitcoin or purchasing crypto just to purchase it. In this specific video, we're only strictly going to be discussing Bitcoin and what I think it could potentially do in the next few months into the end of the year and potentially next year as well. I just want to say by no means am I a crypto expert. This is just my opinion based off of the research and analysis I've done on Bitcoin over the past couple of weeks. As always, don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel for more content, and yeah, let's just go ahead and get started. Alright guys, so I made a PowerPoint just to kind of go through Bitcoin's timeline from kind of back in 2014 prior to it crashing. I just want to kind of run you guys through the timeline and then go through what's currently going on with crypto regulations, China news, Tesla news, and then I'll go into my analysis and what I personally think will happen with Bitcoin. So let's go ahead and start with China. So China's restrictions on Bitcoin started back in 2013. So back in 2013, China decided to ban crypto transactions from its banks and domestic exchanges, just because they stated that Bitcoin is not a real currency. So they prohibited their banks and those exchanges to ban crypto transactions. That was back in 2013. So once they did that in 2017, Bitcoin had started an uptrend at that point. So once they had decided to ban those crypto transactions or prohibit those banks from accepting crypto transactions, in 2017, when Bitcoin started to make a move up, China again stepped in and banned ICOs. So ICOs are initial coin offerings. They stated that they were going to ban ICOs because most ICOs they claimed were scams or fraudulent or pyramid schemes. So once they stepped in and banned ICOs in 2017, this was towards the end of the year. In the coming months, Bitcoin crashed. So into 2018, we saw that 65% crash in Bitcoin after China had announced this. A little of the dust settled after that. There wasn't much news on China's regulations on Bitcoin up until this year. So in May of 2021, China again stated that its financial institutions should not participate in any cryptocurrency transactions. And then on June 18, 2021, which is the most recent and significant news that I found, is that authorities in the Sichuan, I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing that wrong, Sichuan province ordered miners to shut down their operations. So all the miners had to shut down their operations, and the reason behind China's regulation of Bitcoin and why they want to prohibit cryptocurrency transactions is because they want to push their yuan initiative. So in 2020, China started this initiative with their currency to turn it into a digital currency. So their currency is the yuan. I don't know if I'm pronouncing this right, so I apologize if I'm pronouncing it incorrectly. But they came out with a digital version of the yuan currency, which started in 2020. The reason that they came out with this was because they wanted to have a strong hold over their economy and the national digital currency that they have. And because cryptocurrency is not regulated like that, obviously they feel as though they don't have control over Bitcoin and what it can and cannot do. So basically, China just wants to keep a hold over their economy, over their society, by pushing their own digital currency so that it's regulated by them, as crypto is not heavily regulated. So which is why they're coming out with all of these regulations, all of these rules, in order to be able to control cryptocurrency as much as they can. So that being said, another piece of news that has kind of been significant with the volatility in Bitcoin has been Tesla accepting Bitcoin for its transactions or not. So basically, in February 2021, Tesla purchased $1.5 million worth of Bitcoin, and they stated that they would accept Bitcoin as a form of currency as a form of payment, as a form of payment for their vehicles. Then a few weeks after, I believe, they backtracked and stated that they would not accept Bitcoin, obviously because of clean energy issues and fuel emission issues. Tesla is an EV company. So they're geared towards that clean energy. And then again, on June 12th, 2021, Elon Musk announced that they would resume Bitcoin transactions once they had significant, reasonable clean energy usage, which is at least 50% of miners would use clean energy for crypto mining. Otherwise, they would not be accepting Bitcoin. So Bitcoin will be very volatile. It'll either go up or drop based off of, news like this, like Tesla accepting Bitcoin, other big institutions accepting cryptocurrency, big banks feeding into the cryptocurrency market. This type of news does have an effect on crypto, especially Bitcoin, as it does get very volatile whenever news like this comes out. However, with China's restrictions, I feel like this type of news is way more significant and could potentially change the direction in which Bitcoin moves in the future, as it did back in 2017 when they banned ICOs. So that being said, let's go ahead and take a look at Bitcoin's chart and kind of go through what I see on the chart and what could potentially happen in the future based off of its chart's price actions. All right, guys, so here is Bitcoin's chart. This is the 6-hour time frame on Bitcoin, and so I'm going to go through a couple things here I see with Bitcoin and then kind of give you my analysis. So as we can see here in the start of kind of 2021, we can see that Bitcoin was on a solid uptrend here. So we can see that Bitcoin was on a solid uptrend here. This was around February when Tesla had announced that it would start to accept Bitcoin as a form of payment. It started to rally based off of that news. It created an all-time high of a little over 65,000 at that point. Now, before it did start that uptrend, you can see that Bitcoin is kind of holding this $30,000 level here. And probably it looks like this was the beginning of 2021. It was in kind of a consolidation area, and it was just holding this $30,000 support. Now, this $30,000 support is significant because it is now holding that same $30,000 support level today. So right around here, we can see that Bitcoin pulled back close to around $53,000. So obviously, anytime a financial instrument reaches an all-time high, a pullback is healthy. So this is a healthy pullback here on Bitcoin. But what happens is around this April, May time, we start to hear negative news on Bitcoin. During the beginning of the year, we had a lot of positive backing behind crypto, whether it was Tesla, whether it was Square, PayPal accepting crypto transactions, and even like that, there was a lot of push and backing by financial institutions behind cryptocurrency in the beginning of the year. Now that we're getting a lot of negative news, Bitcoin has become more volatile, and it has kind of reversed that trend into a downtrend. And what we see here is once it came back down, it broke that 54 support, kind of held 50,000 slightly right around here, and then bounced at 50,000. Once it bounced at 50,000, it then rejected 60,000 right around here, and now it is on a solid downtrend. And this was around May here when China did announce that they would ban ICOs. Crypto has now been on a downtrend. Keep this in mind because in 2017, when China announced that they would ban their banks and financial institutions from accepting crypto transactions, what happened to the crypto market? What happened to Bitcoin? It dropped. It crashed in December of 2017. So we could potentially see that again, if these regulations continue to come out from China. Now, what we see here is Bitcoin rejected that 60,000 level, and now it's on a downtrend. It moved all the way to what level? That $30,000 support level that we have from the beginning of the year on Bitcoin. 30,000 is a significant key level of support on Bitcoin. You can see that it has bounced. Earlier this week, it did break 30,000, moved close to 28,000. However, wasn't able to hold below that 30,000 mark, and it bounced again. Once it bounced, and then you can see right around here when it bounced the second time, right close to 30,000, it did retest this time, and it retested that $42,000 level here. Also, this indicator that I have here is the Fibonacci retracement. So you place it at the swing high, which would be around 60,000, and the swing low, which would be around 30,000, and it's pretty much charts the support and resistance levels for you. And you could see here that it did hold this Fibonacci level here, and right now it's holding below the fib level here around 41,371. So Fibonacci retracements are really good when you see the stock reverse into, it was on an uptrend and it's reversing into a downtrend, or vice versa. You can potentially use Fibonacci levels. I point out another thing that I see here is something called a dead cat bounce. So what a dead cat bounce is that when a stock is on a downtrend, it has a short-term reversal in which it bounces off of the support and then continues its downtrend. So we can see here is Bitcoin bounced off of that $30,000 support, came back up, retested around 40,000, rejected not only that fib level but the trend line that I have on it as well, and it's now retesting that $30,000 support as well. So just looking at Bitcoin, what we could potentially see happen is as Bitcoin gets tighter and tighter in between this trend line, in between the $30,000 level support, what we can see is inevitably Bitcoin has to break out either above the trend line or below this 30,000 support. So in my personal opinion, history tends to repeat itself, and from what I've seen prior to when Bitcoin was on an uptrend and what had happened to it when it crashed in December of 2017 into 2018 after China announced that it's banning crypto transactions, and now it's even more significant how much they're trying to regulate Bitcoin and the miners shutting down their operations. I just personally feel like we could potentially see Bitcoin below 30,000. Once it breaks that 30,000 level support, what we can see the next significant level of support on Bitcoin is going to be 20,000. So once Bitcoin breaks the 30,000 support, I think we could potentially see 20,000 into the end of the year. So as we continue to see more restrictions on cryptocurrency, or we continue to see more news in regards to, Tesla accepting or not, or any other institutions accepting Bitcoin or not, people starting to sell their Bitcoin, buying Bitcoin, whatever the case may be, it could potentially have short-term effects on it. However, in the long run, with Chinese regulations and what I've seen in the past, what I'm going to be looking for on Bitcoin is for it to continue that downtrend that it's starting to create. So we could potentially see around a 60 to 80% correction on Bitcoin if it continues its downtrend and we start to see more regulations, more institutions trying to regulate cryptocurrency, not just China, but just big institutions in general trying to regulate cryptocurrency, trying to control cryptocurrency. We could potentially see it continue to fall until we see a bottom out potentially around 20,000. Looking for that towards the end of the year, November, December, and those are the dips that I will look to purchase on Bitcoin.